Good morning. Oh, it's Monday. Look, it's Monday. Oh, Monday. We get to start all over. It's Monday. Young lady writes, Hannah, I know she could be old as hell. I'm just going to assume she's young. Hi, Captain. Please keep my name anonymous. No one's going to know who you are. If you're upset, I'll take it down. Please post video response so others who are dealing with this issue can be helped by your response. What advice does Cappy have for people who have been treated poorly, wronged, or rejected by others and are now experiencing bitterness and resentment? I don't have a specific life event I wish to speak on, but would like to hear what you have to say moving past people's BS to live in a more productive and happy life. I just want to hear a perspective on this from someone who's honestly has more life experience than me. Thank you for YouTube videos. I've been a viewer for several years, and they have certainly been insightful and helpful. Thanks. It's Hannah. Thank you, Hannah. All right. What advice does Cappy have for people who've been treated poorly, wronged, rejected by others, now experiencing bitterness and resentment? Okay, first thing is to realize that that is a normal and healthy reaction. This pansified Christian turn the other cheek when you're in school, that I don't care who started it, I'm going to end it. The authorities and powers that be, it could be your parents, your teachers, even the government. A lot of times they don't care who's right or wrong. They want peace and solace. And so there's a huge amount of injustice. And you have every right. Society wants you to just bend over, shut up, and take it and not complain. So you have every right to be angry, have bitterness and resentment. If there'd be something wrong with you if you didn't. It's like I always get a kick out of some guys. Occasionally, a girl will contact me. Oh, something really bad has happened. Lost their parents, whatever, and I'm depressed and sad. What's wrong? How do I get over? Well, okay, there's nothing wrong with you. That's normal. You should be. My girlfriend and my wife of several years broke up with me. I feel horrible. How do I get it? Well, that's normal. So you're doing correct. You're not off. You're correct. So that's the first thing. And you have a right to bitterness and resentment. You have a right to that. Don't have a specific life event because moving past being a more productive and happy life. That's the key thing, is moving on to a more productive and happier life. Well, here's the problem. If someone wrongs you, you by every moral and principle right have a right to go and get your pound of flesh out of them. It's what keeps society in line. Because if you don't keep people in check, they'll go on to become bigger and bigger crimes until all of a sudden the cops got to do something about it. Not to mention you're ruining or lessening other people's lives, essentially stealing from them either time, money, or just lessening the quality of their life. But getting back to what we were saying before, where a lot of people aren't going to care, and you need the authority. With your hands tied legally, you can't get revenge, so you have to go to the authorities. Now, authority could be your parents, the teachers, or the cops, and a lot of times they just don't care. So this is going to be a crime that went unpunished. And so I'm not saying that you should never forget, nor am I saying that you should forgive. But unless there's a way to get revenge on them legally, which is hard, but you can do it. Fucking another man's wife, perhaps perfectly legal. I've never done that. I'm just pointing that out as an example. There's not much you can do. Okay. And since there's not much you could do unless you wanted to go to jail too, it's really incumbent upon you to handle this and deal with this. Now, what I have learned, and this is one of the very few things my parents and boomers in general were right about, and that is they'll get theirs in the end. And I never understood nor believed this thing called karma, that what goes around comes around, poetic justice. I never believed in that. But as I've gotten older, not only have I seen it, but I now understand why there is karma, why there is poetic justice. Because let's go back, which is probably where certainly some of these examples have occurred, where people have wronged you and you couldn't get back in. This is largely in school. And school is an artificial environment. It's not real. The teachers are shit. There's no enforcement. You're thrown into what is a prison. And if you happen to be a nerd or a geek, or you're just a smaller person, you're going to get the hell picked out of you. Absolutely, absolutely. And teachers aren't going to do shit. Parents probably won't do shit either. So when you realize everything else your parents or your elders have told you is all poppycock and lies, and touchy-feely bullshit, and follow your heart, the money will follow, it agrees, good deal, that all that, and they'll get theirs in the end, just wait. That's one that actually became true, because for the most part, everyone when they're young, they're being real dicks, are in a false environment. More, and the largest environment they're in the most is school. They're not at home more than school. They're at school more than anything else. That is the side. That's because the school was society. See if anyone gets that joke. So they are brought up that they go unpunished. They could get away with bullshit and things like that. And then they get dumped onto the real world. Now, maybe they go to college, okay. But once they're adults, once they get out in the real world, all of a sudden, you can't just go beat up somebody in the playground because you go to jail. All right, that's assault. I don't know why it's not assault beforehand. I don't know why. Oh, well, you're 14. No, now you could get the shit kicked out of you. No, nothing's wrong there. But it's assault also when you pass this arbitrary age of 18. And some people kind of get it, but some of these people have been brought up in that artificial environment for so long, they think that the law or simple societal rules don't apply to them. And they've been conditioned after that much time to really think that they're the center of the world, that they're better and more deserving of other people. And they go on to treat the rest of the world, however small or large capacities, however thoroughly in all their behaviors, that the rest of society don't take their shit. I'll give you a story. There's this one guy, big bully, biggest bully in our school. I think he got killed 3 years after he graduated from high school. And the reason why is, and I tried calling up the police department, trying to get like a report on how this guy passed away. He died at what was he, 21? I'm sure he picked on someone who was bigger than him. I'm sure because no one stopped him, including the teachers. He thought he could go out into life and just continue that behavior. Well, the karma was that he either ran into somebody who was bigger than him, somebody who had less patience than he did, or somebody who just had a gun. And then this guy was dead. Another one, a perfect example, is people who are popular in high school. You are popular under an artificial environment, not the real world. And you could see that, and it's not even necessarily popular, but let's just say you do really well at high school, you do really well at school. Well, then you're dumped out in the real world. The real world is not school, unless like you never leave school, which a fair amount of people do. They either work in academia and they never set foot in the real world. But even then, they fail miserably because they're good at getting good grades. They're not good at work. They're not good at entrepreneurship. Dribbling a ball or throwing a ball is really good. And oh boy, you went to state. I always got a kick out of rail. I went to state as a wrestler. Good for you. What the hell is that going to do for you? And this is not to besmirch wrestlers, because some of them do go on to do other things. But to point out that no, you only go to state. That's all they talked about. I was like, good. You're a senior in high school. You went to state 3 times in a row. Good for you. All right. How does that play out in the real world? All right. So what you're trained to do in high school, what you're trained to do in school, even in college, once these people are dumped out into the real world, they have disadvantages. They have disabilities mentally. I don't mean that in a mental retardation sense. I mean that in a delusional and a non-anchored in reality sense, that their expectations, their entitlement of what society is going to allow them to do, give them, is not in line with the real world wants. And so then it happens. The popular girls get knocked up by some guy and either get divorced or never married in the first place. Everybody gets fat. The assholes who continue to be assholes, thinking they can punch people and rough people up, they don't make it too long. And I've seen it. Like you look and something as simple as basic finances. They all got to continue the popularity contest. I'll say it again. In my day, in the 80s, you had to have Cav-Rishi pants or you weren't cool. People would I remember having Velcro Velcro shoes, because they weren't Nike high tops. I got in fights. Now you take that attitude out into the real world. I'm going to beat up people because they're not wearing cool shoes. That you won't last long. But the desire to still have the best, to be popular, even though high school is over, college is over, continues to this day. And now I know a guy, he lives in a neighborhood. These all people roughly my age. You want to know what happens when they're older? They continue this facade but they're not buying Nike high tops anymore. They're not buying Cavaricci pants. They're buying McMansions they can't afford and leasing out SUVs. And again, I'll say it again. I saw that corroborated when I was working in bank. I'd see their financial statements. It's all fake. It's all fake. And so whatever these people are that did bad things to you, they'll go on and continue doing bad things to society. And society will not take their shit. They won't get the job. They won't get a promotion. They'll get laid off. They'll get fired. In the case of that bully, he'll get killed. Society doesn't want to have anything to do with you. And so you get ostracized. You never adhere to what reality ever really wants. You'll get overweight. You'll get entitled. I mean, come on. You could see it now. How the Karens form. Like how unanchored from the rest of the world do you have to be to develop into a Karen? And none of these people are happy. None of them have a good retirement plan. No, I mean, this is just general statistics speaking. But the people who adhere to reality and don't go around punching people or do unacceptable behavior, they don't succeed. They don't. Some of them do. They end up become politicians or psychopaths and CEOs or whatever. But the vast majority of people, they will get theirs. And even if you do become successful, look at Hillary Clinton, for God's sake. Has that woman ever smiled? You think she's happy? She got everything in the world except love, not to sound too touchy-feely. But there's someone who has no problems doing what's necessary to get ahead, violating principle, maybe even the law, just because it's all about her. It's the same thing with all these. It's all about them. Well, society doesn't like people. And look, she failed. She didn't win. Although that was more because of the Electoral College than anything else. And so moving past this, a key thing, what you got to do is you got to move past. You never forget. I never forget either. I got a nice little list up in my head. Got a nice little list. But if you go and hunt these people down, what you're going to find out is that whatever revenge you have in store for them is nothing compared to what life is doing to them right now. Because let's say you take a baseball bat to their legs and you break their legs. Well, the legs are going to heal. They're going to go on. But dude, having kids they can't afford from multiple women, being perpetually poor, running a Dubro sports bar, and then being on the verge of insolvency all the time, if not being insolvent the entire time. Doing what was popular, partying in school and college, taking on all the student debt, YOLO, only live once. Am I right? Also, you graduate $200,000 of student loan debt. There was one gal I remember, really cute. She was cute. And she got old, like all people do. And her dad, she's bipolar, claims to be bipolar. That's what, just in case you're wondering, mean girls say they're bipolar so they have an excuse as to why they could treat you like shit going on. They don't really actually have the disease. It's not a lot of ugly people have bipolar disorder. But her dad died. She got all this money, just this rich, bought brand new, sporty little convertible. And sure enough, now she's on disability. She has a shopping addiction because there's nothing else in her life. So even, it doesn't matter where she goes. She used to go shopping in expensive places. Now she goes to like Goodwill and all that. I'm sure she was a stuck-up, arrogant bitch. I'm sure she shot down many old people who were otherwise good, upstanding men. Although in your case, you're a girl. And that's what happens when you're arrogant and cocky. The whole world doesn't want to have anything to do with you. And so to get past that, just let it go. I know it's harder to say let it go, but to help you let go, dude, and it takes a while because you're young and they still got a lot of, dude, another thing that keeps these people from ever suffering their decisions is tons of government and parental money. Just comes in there and bails them out the entire time. But by about 30, when you press like, I'm done paying for you 30-year-old ass, or the government's like, no, you don't qualify for any more government money. That's really when the rubber hits the road and you see these people just flail, just sink because they can't do it. They just can't do it. So there you go. And it may take a little bit of time, but trust you me, that's the revenge. Like there's all these teachers of mine. I would love to pay them a visit. I would love to hunt them down. But what am I going to do that life hasn't done already to them all the time? Because it's not even life. It's they themselves. They're the ones who are bad people making bad decisions. Society is just the wall that hits off a bat and then comes right back at them. I can't punish someone for decades until they're dead. I have shit to do. I got stuff going on. And if you look at them, you're going to see life and themselves punish themselves. And I'm not saying that to make you feel bad. I'm just saying, look at it, man. Look at them. And you're still young, so I don't know how old you are, but take a look at some people who graduated before you did. Take a look at some people who are further down. See how happy and now when they're like about to graduate their senior year in college, see them a year or two after. Oh, college grad. That's like the peak. That's peak bitch right there. Like, yeah, I'm so intelligent. And then like talk to them in 2 years later. Oh, she's trying to find herself. Can't find a job. Student loans are coming due. She lives at home. There you go. There's your revenge. And you didn't have to lift a finger and you didn't have to go to jail. All right. So there's that. Let's see what's in the super chest. Morning, gentlemen. Look at all the regulars are here. Adriano Ramos for $2. When are you going to sell POA courses on Soap Cappy? I might. I have to do a video. I'll put that together probably after this one or later on. But I may be offering courses. If you guys want, email me. Don't put in this text room because I'm not going to check this out. But email me if you'd like to see some kind of courses, what kind of courses you'd like. The problem is whatever wisdom I would have had is in the books. Classic Passman for $5. How to deal with leftist parasitic family members. You ignore them, you have nothing to do with them. I mean, yeah, oh, hi, yeah, how are you? Yeah, but I don't get leftist family members. I don't hang out with them. I don't get them gifts. There's no Christmas. It's like, oh, you're the one. It was already hard enough trying to get out of poverty, but you guys, you jacked up my taxes, huh? You made it so that I'd have to pay more property taxes than I would, my interest expense, my mortgage, huh? Okay, all right. I have no problem cutting people off. None. I don't have time. Ice Nose for $2. How do you look all these people up, Cap? It was the Googles now. It's the Googles. A lot of them I can't find some. I'm like, damn it. There's one in particular, an elementary school teacher of mine. I can't find that bitch. I'm like, where did she go? Holy shit. I want to see her suffer. None of those gals ever had happy marriages. I'll tell you that. Bunch of fucking school marms. Yeah. All right. I'll try and get another consultation request in. Good morning, Corona Chan. Later on today, tune in. Get my phone over here. Starts at 9:15, so half an hour. So tell family, tell friends. We'll see you guys later. Toodles.